Welcome back to the channel, folks. It's been a while. Before we get into anything, just want to say Merry Christmas to everybody. It's that time of year, you know, and it's been a while since we've done a video, I know. Lots has been going on with the car. I haven't done a lot of it myself, and I have to admit that, you know, it was something that I was going to try and do myself, but I'm glad I've let someone else do it because although they've spent quite a lot of time working on the car, I feel that it's probably better that they are doing it. So big shout out to Loz's Customs on the Isle of Wight. They've been great. They've kept me informed every step of the way. I get pictures every time they do something, and yeah, they've done exactly what I've asked. So I am going to flick now to show you what's been going on with the vehicle, and then we can talk about it a bit more. Just quickly before we do, please like and subscribe. It really helps the algorithm. And please leave some comments, you know, see what you think. You know, it's nice to hear what people have to say about the build. You know, obviously it's a small channel. We want it to grow slightly so that I can know that I'm going in the right direction and we are bringing people content they want to see. But anyway, on with what's been going on. Okay, let's get into this. So back bumper's come off, that's all been removed. We have uncovered some right messes. These side arches were literally just held on with filler, nothing more. This is the big bit. So the boot, as you can see, that's where the rear lights were first mounted. They've been welded up. The boot now, we've filled these light set where the lights were. They've been a metal plate welded in, it's blended over. We bought a new boot skin. One of the guys, big shout out to Darren for this. He had a big fiberglass boot panel, so this has been smoothed in up here. Obviously it's been smoothed in where the metal panel was put in place of the light and blended in. And the same with this side here, still needs a little bit more rubbing down and whatnot. You can see where it was obviously filled in up here. There's the metal panel where that light was welded in, still need a bit more work on that. Back bumper's been taken off, so obviously we can do some repair work to that. The hole here obviously is cut out square, and I want that obviously a little bit more curved to fit round the exhaust pipe. So yeah, every panel has had all the filler removed because every panel was simply filler on this car. So it's been an arduous task of removing all that and rubbing it all back down. So obviously we need to get something going with that. We've just taken mirrors and things off, as you know, to get around the car a bit more easily. So there we go, front bumper's off, and that's sat up there. So these are the latest addition for the car. We've got a set of volt spinners, 18s, to go on the car. Now unfortunately this is one of the wheels here without the actual spinner on it. These are 4 studs, 4x100s on the Corsa. These are 5x120s. So the first thing we need to do is get some adapters to adapt the hubs for the wheels to fit on. Either that or we have to do a full conversion. Either way, putting these wheels on here, just sitting them flat against those hubs, we're finding that they stick out too far from the arch. We could probably roll that arch out and it would fit in there okay, but on the front it actually sticks out a hell of a lot more, like way past this arch. So what we're going to have to do, I think, moving forward, is to wide body it. I don't have a choice, so that means obviously widening the back bumper, widening the skirts out, building a new arch to go round so that when this is dropped on hydraulics, the wheels will sit up inside the arch nicely. So we've got a lot more work to do with this, a lot more than I anticipated, but that's what happens when you buy things like that without test fitting them on a car. Again, realistically, we'd like to take the engine out and tidy up the engine bay. We've got things like this, you know, doesn't need to be in there anymore. It doesn't work actively as part of the car. We can put a new alarm system on this. You know, we've got the engine bay sitting as a different colour to the rest of what the car's going to be. So if we can either black the engine bay out, tidy it all up, change the hoses so that we're happy that that's all finished off, we can do that. And then obviously the car can go to paint and have the paint done once it's all been finished, being wide bodied and so on and so forth. But yeah, that's how it sits at present. So things have been going on, you know. Obviously we've been doing the rear lights and you know, working on the boot panel. It's taken a lot of time to get the bumpers off, get them, dig out all the thick filler that was on them. You can see how thick it was. Find where they joined the arches and cut them nicely off there. But you know, these were just literally siliconed on and fiberglassed on. There was no nuts and bolts holding these. So we need to take them off anyway because we're going to go slightly wider arches. So to be honest with you, it's a godsend that we didn't blend all these back in, because then at least we can put a new set of wheels on there and adapt the car to work with that. So there you have it. Gives you a bit of an explanation of what's been going on and why I haven't been actively posting videos. Obviously the car's not been at home for me to do that. It's been sat down there, and they've obviously been working on it a bit at a time, you know, as they've got time, as I've, you know, had money to pay them. Yeah, I mean, obviously had to pay out for quite a lot of things, you know, the hydraulic suspension, you know, that was, you know, from Raven Hydraulics, $2,500, you know, that's how much it was. I'm not going to shy away from telling people what it cost. You know, I've got the spinners there, you know, that they cost me a fair whack of money. I've obviously, with those, I've got to buy a new set of hub adapters because, as I said, the hubs are on the Corsa are standard as 4 stud, and we've got to go to 5. I could, you know, do a full conversion and put you know, the 5 stud on the car, but I think it's easier just to do the hub adapters as it is to mess around changing all the running gear at the moment. It might be something we go down the route of in the future, I don't know. But yes, I've obviously just had to buy a set of hub adapters for that. We took the coilovers off, and then obviously I thought, oh yeah, the hydraulics don't actually come with a mounting kit, so you can mount them onto the wishbones and things like that. So I've just bought a standard set of shocks, so that we can cut the shocks in half. So brand new set of shocks, cut them in half, drain them all out, clean them all out, stick the hydraulic arm in it, weld it all up, so then that can obviously bolt to the car properly. We've got the mountings that Raven Hydraulics have made for us to bolt up under the underside of the where the struts would sit in the engine bay. They've been built with ball joints so that the suspension can flex one way or another rather than just being completely rigid. That's something I will probably have to show you another day to explain it a bit clearer. It's hard to make videos when you're not actually physically with the car. I had to cut the video short earlier. Someone arrived that wanted to talk to me. Yeah, it was like, oh, that's it, cut up. So things are actively going really well. You know, throwing money into the car. It's coming to the end of the year now, and hopefully start the new year with the first thing being the hydraulics going on. So as I said, what we're going to plan to do is bolt the hub adapters and the wheels onto the vehicle, and then we can obviously see how wide the wide arch is going to need to be. We can cut out what's there. Once we've got the hydraulic suspension fitted, then we can drop it down to the height what we are happy that it's going to be sat at, and then we can start building everything onto it from there. But there was no point in filling all those arches in with those old wheels, and then obviously suddenly finding that all the work we've just done has got to be undone to wide arch it or to roll the arches a bit more or whatever. So I think we did it in the right order. We had numerous different conversations about what was going to be next. You know, what should we do now? What should we do after the boot? Should we carry on with the bodywork? You know, it was, you know, the bodywork's pretty straight on this car, aside from where the door handle was obviously smoothed on the passenger side. And I think they've just put too much heat to it, warped the panel. So, you know, things like that just need to be tidied up. And there might be the odd blemish here or there. Just run a skimmer filler over it. Just flat it back, but we're not going to be having inches of filler on there like that was on there originally. So yeah, I think that's all looking pretty hopeful. I'm sorry that, you know, some people will moan that I've filmed this video in, you know, a different manner with regards to the orientation of the camera. But you know, I just wanted to get something out there. Say we're still here, it's still relevant, and you know, I haven't stopped the build, but you know, when it goes somewhere to have work done, I've got to be able to pay the garage every single time they spend a day on it. So I've got to take, you know, go to work every day, earn my money to live, and then put the money into the car for them to work on it. And also, you know, it's finding time to get up there to do videos. I mean, a lot of the time, because of the arduous task he's had of doing bodywork, for a long time you don't really see much progress, because every time you go, there's filler and it's being sanded, filler, it's being sanded. So it doesn't look any different 2 or 3 times you go up there, and then suddenly you've got this, oh, it's come together, and yeah, it's finally done and it looks great. So I've kind of left it. I have got some images that I could perhaps throw up actually at the end of the video that shows the different stages of when we were welding the panels on, and things like that, just so that you can grasp the concept of what's happened, what's gone on. In fact, I decided to throw those images in now so you can see step by step what's happened basically along the way. So there, yeah, quite simply, you could see obviously there was holes in the tailgate. I have a feeling, you know, that's where the spoiler would have been bolted on a vent originally, and I reckon someone tried to weld them up and blew bigger holes. So there, the holes were there. Then obviously you could see we welded them up, not so much heat, so we didn't blow some more holes in it. And then obviously blended over, smoothed over. And there you go, you can quite simply see that there's the cat, that's Dargo. Yeah, you can quite simply see that we've had to weld that panel in. When I say we, it's not me, it's Loz at Loz's Customs. He's welded that panel in. To mock up a template initially with a bit of paper, so you can obviously, you know, ascertain what we're going to cut out. Cut out a bit of metal, weld that in, weld a piece onto the underside of the boot lid, you know, and then we got the fiberglass panel. We bonded that onto the boot lid. That's what all the tape was all over it while the bonding compound was going off, so it was obviously solid on there, and then obviously skimmed over to the point we're at now. So yeah, fantastic work. And yeah, there's just some snippets of photos that I've obviously received off of them as they've been going along with going along with the build. So anyway, on to the end of the video, and I shall shut up. Yeah, so as for rear lights, we intend to get some put back in there. We've got a few different options that we're exploring at the moment, but at the moment I'm not really interested. We want to put some of the plans into action that we've already got going, get it all up to scratch where there's nothing else to do, then we can think about things like lights. But yeah, I don't want to rush this build. I want to get it ready and say, oh yeah, it's going to be ready for 2024, you know, the reunion show. If we do that, the chances are I'm going to rush it, and everything will have to be redone because paint's cracked or everything else. I'd rather do it once and do it right. So let's just plough on with it, and it's not going to be forever. We are going to get this build done, but we want to do it correctly. So yeah, let's just see what happens from there, really. Hit me up if you've got a max power build. It's nice to see what other people have got going on. You know, I've been speaking to quite a few people recently. You know, put someone in touch with someone who's got a smooth Nova panel, you know, to blank off their number plates around. You know, so he found that extremely helpful, and you know, that's great. Helping another member of the community, so it's great to meet new people that have got max power builds going on. So hit me up and, you know, drop me a comment, and you know, if you've got a Corsa especially, you know, we can trade numbers or whatever. You can hit me up if I've got anything that you need. I'm sure I'll be asking for bits, always, you know, looking for things for the car to improve the build and whatnot. So yeah, it's good to see these cars coming back into the scene and not just being thrown on a scrap heap. So, yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great Christmas. Have a great New Year. And we'll see you all on the next one.